The alien queen's child called me father, and the whole court fell silent. The throne room of the Veari Empire glittered with alien opulence. Crystal pillars spiraled toward a ceiling alive with shifting constellations, each star burning in strange colors. The queen herself sat upon a living throne, grown from a giant insectoid husk that pulsed faintly with light. Around her, nobles in shimmering carapace robes whispered in tones like grinding stone. And in the middle of it all, I stood, an ordinary human, dirt-stained from travel, with eyes that felt far too small for the sight before me. I hadn't come to the alien court willingly. My ship had been torn from orbit by a Veari patrol, accused of trespassing in sacred skies. I expected interrogation, maybe execution. Instead, I was dragged into the heart of their empire to stand before the queen herself. I had been preparing myself to speak, to argue, to plead. But before I could say a word, something else happened. A small voice pierced the silence. "Father?" The sound was soft, high-pitched, but clear enough to echo against crystal walls. Every alien head snapped toward the source. From behind the queen, a child stepped forward. She was Veari in form, skin with a faintly iridescent sheen, large luminous eyes, limbs jointed with alien grace. But there was something unmistakably different about her. Her features weren't wholly alien. Her mouth, her nose, her jawline, they bore the familiar softness of humanity. And she was looking at me. The nobles erupted in whispers. The queen raised a clawed hand, silencing them instantly, but her gaze never left mine. Her eyes burned like twin suns. The child rushed forward, her little legs clumsy as she crossed the steps between us. Before I could react, she clutched my hand in her tiny three-finger grip and pressed her face to it. "Father," she said again, louder now. My mouth went dry. My brain scrambled. I had never seen her before in my life. But the court believed her. "Explain," the queen said. Her voice wasn't raised, but it carried like thunder rolling through chamber. I stammered. I've never..." The child squeezed my hand tighter. Her glowing eyes looked up at me with desperate certainty. "Don't leave me again." Something inside my chest cracked. I didn't know her. And yet, looking at her trembling face, at the tears forming in her two human eyes, I couldn't bring myself to deny her. The nobles hissed in their strange language. One of them, a tall figure with spined shoulders, stepped forward. "Blasphemy! The queen's bloodline is sacred. No off-worlder could." "Silence!" the queen cut in, her gaze still pinned on me. "Bring him forward." Guards shoved me closer to the throne. The child refused to let go of my hand, so she stumbled along beside me. When we stood before her, the queen leaned forward. Her movements were slow, deliberate, predatory. "You claim no knowledge of her?" "I don't," I said honestly, though my voice shook. "I swear it. I don't know how she thinks I'm her." The queen's mandibles clicked softly, a sign of thought. Finally, she gestured to the child. "Lyra, why do you call him so?" The girl looked up at her mother, then at me again. "Because he is. I dreamed him. I waited. And now he's here." The court rippled with unease. I realized, with a sinking weight in my stomach, that her words were not random. Among the Veari, children were said to dream their destined protectors before they could even walk. For most, it was a Veari guardian. But this child, this princess, had dreamed of me, a human. That night, they didn't throw me into a cell. Instead, I was given a chamber inside the palace itself, watched by guards but untouched. The child, Lyra, slipped past them with ease. She curled up beside me on the alien bed and refused to leave. I sat there stiffly, staring at her as she slept. Her small chest rose and fell. Her hand clutched mine, as though letting go would shatter her world. She wasn't mine. I knew that, and yet, every time she murmured father in her sleep, I felt the lie slip deeper under my skin, until I almost believed it myself. The next day, I was summoned again. This time, fewer nobles attended. Only the queen, her advisers, and me. She will not release you, the queen said simply. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were sharp. She has chosen you. That cannot be undone. I didn't choose this, I said. Nor did I, she replied. But here we are. What happens now? I asked. You remain, she said. If you refuse, she will break. And if she breaks, so will the empire. The weight of it hit me then. This wasn't just about a child's feelings. The princess was the heir to the throne. If her bond collapsed, if her spirit shattered, the succession of the Veari Empire itself could be thrown into chaos. And I, an unwanted outsider, was at the center of it. Days turned into weeks. Lyra followed me everywhere, a constant shadow. She wanted to hear stories of Earth, of trees and oceans she'd never seen. She wanted to learn words in my language, laughing when she mispronounced them. And though I kept telling myself I wasn't her father, that I should keep distance, my heart betrayed me. I found myself teaching her how to draw stars on parchment. I found myself carrying her when she grew tired. I found myself watching her sleep with the fierce protectiveness I had no right to feel. And the court watched too, some with suspicion, some with growing acceptance. The breaking point came one evening when assassins struck. A faction of nobles, outraged at the thought of a human tied to the royal bloodline, sent blades in the night. They stormed the palace, cutting down guards. I woke to Lyra's scream. Without thinking, I tore a weapon from a fallen guard and fought. I'd never handled Veari steel before, but adrenaline made up for clumsiness. I cut down one assassin, tackled another, and stood between them and the child. Stay behind me, I shouted. She clung to me, sobbing. By the time reinforcements arrived, I was covered in cuts, bleeding, barely standing, but alive. And so was she. The queen herself arrived, her eyes burning with something I couldn't read. When she saw Lyra clutching me, when she saw the bodies at my feet, she said only one thing. Perhaps fate is wiser than we. After that night, no one in the court dared question Lyra's choice. Whispers still followed me, but they no longer dripped with venom. Some even carried respect. And the queen, though she never softened, looked at me with a new kind of calculation, not as an intruder, but as something else. Months passed. I stopped thinking of leaving. I was still human, still alien in their world. But when Lyra called me father, I no longer flinched. I answered. I belonged to her now, whether I'd wanted it or not. One evening, as the queen dismissed her court, Lyra tugged me to stand beside her throne. She looked up at her mother with innocent determination and said, "He stays. He is ours." And the queen, for the first time since I'd arrived, allowed the faintest curl of a smile. The court bowed their heads. None dared argue. And me? I squeezed Lyra's hand, my voice low but certain. I'm not going anywhere. The whole chamber fell silent again, but this time no one dared break it, because the alien queen's child had chosen me, and the empire itself would bend around that truth.